Yeah, I don't know how you didn't get a mantle there. Didn't know you could go from there. Right. I'm also realizing it saves you no time to make that jump. Yeah. Like, oh, I meant jumping straight to the rotating rock. But you're still jumping on the same rock. Right. Trackmania this shit.
Yo, what up?
Yo, what's up, my ninja?
Yo, give me 1 second. I gotta get my AirPods hooked up. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
1 sec. I don't know why it's not working well.
I feel like I have to play 10 Ace. Offsuit, I still have to play it.
Yo, can you hear me? There we go.
Fucker is a jack. He did. Oh, Halo Infinite action. It's a fun game. I suck at it, but it's fun.
Doing this.
I like that. There's 2 ways to hit a straight.
There we go. What are you guys playing?
I'm playing some poker.
Polka.
Hold 'em. Sean and I were playing Chain together a little bit ago, and we're trying to do the lava mode. We did pretty well, but we ended up dying halfway.
Oh, that sucks. So basically, you can't fall.
You can fall, but like if you separate yourself from the lava, you can fall a couple times, but the lava will catch up to you if you suck too bad. Did you see Sean posted a speedrun?
Yeah, he's like 50th or something.
Like 30 something, right, Sean?
Jeez.
That's autism at its finest. That's amazing. I don't know how you're so fucking good at video games. Yeah, but I mean, this game hasn't even been out that long to play too much.
Autism? Nothing wrong with a little autism.
Yo, what's your story, Matt?
Oh, I was wondering, do you know anything about like getting loans from the bank?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to figure that out because my boss told me like a couple weeks ago, since I'm not like buying into the juice scam, they're hiring a new orthodontist, right? Because they want him to buy into the juice scam. Okay.
What juice scam?
Basically, they want a full-time orthodontist who will buy into the business, at like 30% max of the business, no more than 30%, and they will finance it at 10%. And then after 9 years of owning the business, you can sell it for like an 8 times multiple
To
of
who?
EBITDA to the company. And the way they say that is because they're like it's a scam, dude. Like they're one of these companies where they partner with private equity and the business generates a certain EBITDA, right? You know what that is, right?
Earnings before interest,
Yeah.
taxes, and
So
amortization.
yeah, so they get a certain multiple after a certain amount of years because they package it to a new buyer, like a fund or something like that, or a bigger business or whatever. And then eventually, I think they try to sell it to like a pension fund or something. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So they try to first buy it for 5 times, then they try to sell it for like 10 times, and then they try to sell it for like 15 or whatever, whatever they can sell it for, right? And so my sister works in private equity. She's a controller for one in um, Chicago. And I was like, yeah, tell me about this stuff. And she was like, I don't really know. I mean, I don't really think it's worth it. My dad's like, yeah, it's a fucking scam. So, anyways, long story short, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And so, they are hiring a new orthodontist. And then my boss was like, yeah, I don't know how they're going to pay 3 orthodontists. And I'm like, what are you trying to say? And so, probably around December, they'll probably let me go.
Was there
And
any
so,
talk of that, like when you were being onboarded, like?
yeah. And they just kind of bullshitted me though a little bit when they said, "Hey, you can open up multiple offices and then, you can buy into those offices and then the EBIT off those offices you can have like a piece of and then you can sell that and then, you know, you can stack it, you know what I'm saying? And then you could come out with $1 million in salary and then um you would also be able to sell the business, but then they turns out that they're not opening up new offices. I don't know if they don't want to because of interest rates or what, but they're not opening new offices. So you could only own that one office, um, which would cap you at 30% EBITDA, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
If you invested 30%. But to own 10%, you have to take out a loan for 400K, 430K to own 10%. So long story short, not interested, and I'm gonna have to find a new job in December. Um, and I need to figure out um, getting a loan for opening up my own eventually.
Gotcha.
I was just wondering if you knew anything about financing and like how much you need down and all that crap.
Yeah, and my knowledge of like business lending is pretty limited. Like I don't even like I have no good like contacts
Sure, that's fine.
on that end of things. But that
My
dude,
sister knows
that's
somebody with JP Morgan.
I was gonna say like, yeah, if she's in private equity, that should be like right up her alley, right?
Yeah.
Um, dude, that sounds so crazy. Like that actually pisses me off.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like, all right, well, you guys want somebody long term, but you're not going to get somebody long term with the deal that you have right now. Like your deal sucks.
Right. Well, and good for you for like doing the due diligence and thinking it through. You know, like
Yeah.
imagine
Well,
how many.
my dad and my sister,
Right. But like imagine you're you know, fresh out of school as an orthodontist, and like
you
you
don't
don't
know
have
anything.
people like that. You don't know anything like that, and like your specialty isn't like it's not like finance and that sort of thing, you know.
No, not at all.
And so like, yeah, I mean, you could scam people pretty easily because you know it's not like a standardized deal, you know. That's like
No,
for your
no.
everyday retail person, like that's some complicated shit, right?
Yeah, and
That's
it's
kind of
like
fucked up.
it's you're dealing with finance right there. Like that's all it is. And I don't fucking know anything about it, but you're telling me that if I own, up to 30% of the business, I won't have any of the final say. Um, but I'll still be responsible for the business, and like I had to stay around for 9 years to make it worth it. Like fuck that. I could have built my own business by then. That's what I
Yeah,
was
I mean,
like telling them.
no, yeah, and it sounds like you'd be, I mean, any way you slice it, you'd be taking on a tremendous amount of risk,
Yeah, yeah, no matter what.
no matter what.
Like
Because what happens if the business folds? You know, like
dude,
the
yeah, like
owner's like
everybody,
fucking some kids or something, and then it blows
dude,
up, and then you're
dude,
on the hook
yeah,
with a $400,000
yeah.
loan.
Or like, what if interest rates are not going to be as low as they were for the past, 15 years? They're never going to be that. They're not going to be that low for a long time. And then like, I'm overpaying like 5 times EBITDA for this business where it's not even worth 5 times EBITDA. I told them I'm not paying 5 times EBITDA, and then they said, okay, 4 times EBITDA, and I'm like, what? I'm like, that's probably still a good deal for you guys.
Right.
And
Right.
they're like, oh well, there's 2 full-time orthodontists right now, so the EBIT is low, so this is the lowest it's gonna be. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't take a finance wizard to understand that if someone's pressuring you to buy something, it might not be in your best interest.
Dude, exactly. I was like, you guys want me to buy into this way more than I do, so something's wrong.
Right.
Dude, that was
right.
my first instinct. That was my
Yeah.
first instinct. I was like, wow, you guys really want me to buy into this?
Right. Like if I want to get fucked, I'll go to a car dealership.
Yeah, right?
Damn, I really had no idea it worked like that.
I didn't either.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
so it seems like to me, I'll have to find part-times because then I won't have like strings attached, because it's
Right.
obvious that my job had strings attached.
Yeah. Dude, that's so wild. And like you're so fresh into the game too. Wow, Sean, that skip was wild. And so it's like, you know, your typical student who's coming out of school, like they've got probably, 100K plus in student loans and shit.
Easy,
And, like,
easy.
right. And so for them to then take on that much additional risk,
If I own 30% of the business, 30%, which according to them, the more you own, the better of a deal, right? That would be an additional $1.2 million. And then they said we'd finance it at 10%. That's hilarious.
yeah, the fact that they would be willing to finance it too, that seems
And
very
then they're
odd.
like, okay, yeah, you don't have to finance it at 10%. You could like get help from like a family member or something. And I'm like, fuck you. With all due respect, fuck you. Oh yeah, it just kind of sucks because like I'm just gonna have to figure out a job in December.
Gosh, the fact that those fucks would want to fucking finance it out to you. Like, that's just the most Jewish shit I've ever heard.
Dude, isn't that?
Yeah, that's so
Isn't that-
crazy.
Dude,
Hey,
not
why don't-
only are
hey,
they making...
You pay us to work here. Like, what? Pay us to work here, and maybe it grows. Hopefully it grows.
Yeah, hopefully it grows, and then in 9 years, 9 years.
Damn, dude, that's wild.
Well, that was the most Jewish scam I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
And then my dad was like,
About,
how do you know they're going to be able to pay you this 9 times or 8 times? How do you know?
Dude, exactly.
And he's like, how do you know they're going to be able to pay you? And they're like, oh, well, if they can't, it's in the contract, so you can sue them. And he's like, oh, I'd want to do that.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, who would want to go to court?
Yeah, because that's not going to be cheap, you know?
It's like, what kind of response is that? Oh, then you take them to court.
What about that Vernon Hills office? They fired the CEO, right?
Yeah.
Where you can make your way back there.
Yeah, right.
Just don't get
I'll have
too
no
drunk.
I have no problem getting a part-time. It's just kind of nice working in one location 4 days a week. Only 25 minutes away. Doop. So yeah, my buddy was telling me to get a loan from a bank. You only need like 100K in cash. I didn't know if that was true.
From like a retail bank?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like asset-backed loans are pretty tough to do.
Explain, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, a lot of the times when you're getting a loan, like a lender's verifying your income more than anything.
Uh-huh.
You know, like say for sake of example, you wanted to buy a house and you went to the mortgage company and you're like, hey, I want to buy a house for, you know, $300,000. I have $500,000 sitting in my bank account. The lender's going to be like, all right, like, well, what's your annual income? And then, you know, say your annual income's like $40,000 or something. They'll straight up deny you for the loan because your income
right,
like isn't high enough, right?
Is there a
like
ratio?
Yeah, I mean, like for a mortgage, you're probably looking at like up to like 45% ish debt to income. But it's crazy, like it makes no sense, and people run into it all the time where they're like, well, what the fuck, like I've got, you know, more than the purchase price of the house sitting in you know, sitting in my bank account. What do you mean I can't get a loan for this? I can pay it back at any time. But lenders are still looking for that income, you know? So
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could get 300, 350, I think, pretty easy. So.
For income, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that'd be to start your own practice?
Yeah. Like a 700K loan, 800K loan. That's what I would probably need.
I mean, if you wanted, like on Monday when I'm in the office, I can ask. Like, I don't do any of that on my end, but some of our bankers are pretty knowledgeable, and they refer out to like a business lending like specialist.
Uh-huh.
And so like if you want, I could have them like set up a phone call or something with you just to give you some
Eventually, not right now.
details. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I will eventually, just not right now. I was just curious if you knew anything about that. 'Cause I mean, I don't know anything about banking, and you work in banking. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. More so on the investment side, the banking stuff, like it's so tightly regulated where like I like really like I'll never really end up talking about banking stuff at all.
Mm.
You know, because like all like banking products, they're all FDIC insured, blah blah blah. And on the investment side, it's completely different, and so they draw pretty hard lines between the two, and you can get yourself in hot water, you know, for like pretending that you're like on the bank side at all. But like we refer back and forth.
Sure.
But oh, just out of curiosity, what did you say the loan size was going to be?
Probably like 700,
Gotcha.
800.
I got a flush ace high, and these guys are betting heavy. Let's go. Yeah, you got me kind of curious though. So when I'm in on Monday, I'm just gonna be like, hey, some dude wants to get a business loan, 800K ish. Like what what's the deal?
Yeah.
What are
What do you need?
what are you guys doing? How does that work?
Yeah. How much money does he need to have, and then what income?
Because that'd be kind of sick. That'd be a cool way to do it, to open up your own practice, you know?
I think that's what I'll end up doing because I was talking last weekend about like areas to open, and the more I think about it, I think, okay, I need demographics. That's number one. Kids and
Kids,
white
money.
people and money.
Yeah.
And the more I think about it, I'm thinking like Arlington Heights and Barrington.
Fair. Yeah. Oh yeah. one type of lending that we actually do on our end is security-backed lending, which is kind of cool. Where you're basically taking a loan out against like your investment
Stocks.
portfolio. Yeah.
Are those always adjustable?
Ours are adjustable.
What's the rate on that? Like 12% or something?
I'd have to
Effectively.
I'd have to take a look. It's not. Yeah, it's not super low.
Yeah, I think Schwab is like, you know, margin is like 12.75 or something like that.
But even then, like, I mean, you're probably looking at a max loan to value there of like 50%, you know.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's what
So
Schwab is.
for a lot of the, like, you know, older clients, like super like high net worth folks who like want to maybe like bridge the gap, like they're buying a home and like, you know, they're not going to sell their place until later and they just need some liquidity to actually purchase the home and stuff. It works out pretty well. So it's a lot of the times kind of a short-term thing.
Yeah. Well, they don't want to sell a stock.
Right. You know, because a lot of that demographic has been holding it for the last 20, 30 years, and so the unrealized gains are huge.
Well, then, if I want a 100K loan from my parents, is that a viable option for them to do something like that?
Why not? Yeah. Yeah, as long as they're willing to do it, there's nothing that prohibits you from doing that.
Because, I mean, if it's a short-term thing where you can pay it back, I mean, who cares if it's 12% or whatever?
Right.
You can pay it back fast.
Right.
And
One of
that
my
way you don't have
buddies
to
that.
sell the stock.
Right. Yeah, one of my buddies that like purchases rental properties, he started out by basically having like a loan shark like loan him like 50 grand or something at a massive interest rate, like something like 50%.
Jeez.
And but what he does, he purchases the house and then rehabs it super quick, and then once it's in good enough shape, then he can get a regular mortgage on it. And then so he has the money to pay the investor back usually like within a month, so it doesn't kill him
Right.
to have that crazy interest rate. I overheard a conversation like probably, I don't know, a couple months ago where someone came in and asked one of our bankers, they wanted like a $300,000 personal loan because their son is an Indy car driver and they like need a car.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, yeah, like we can't give you $300,000 like for an Indy car, like, or for a personal loan, like that's just not a thing. But if it's a business, that's a different conversation. I know.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, it's not like that's not like a loan that's going to generate money.
Right. Yeah, and the collateral's likely to be fucking slammed into a wall in the next 6 months.
The audacity to ask.
It's like
I
kind
mean,
of
that's
sick.
wild. Yeah,
Like,
I mean, good for you for asking.
Yeah, like I wish I was an IndyCar driver. Like that'd be sick.
Fuck it, might as well ask.
Yeah, but that's like the area that I work in is like just so ridiculously affluent that people are like, oh, like that's no big deal. Like it's just $300,000 to buy an Indy car. Like it's kind of crazy.
One of my points that I told my boss is, so this company, like I said, what they do is they get this business that's generating cash. They can hold on to it, they consolidate it, they get more, they just get the numbers up, whatever. And then they package it to somebody else that buys it, at a higher multiple and rinse and repeat, right? And then eventually, I mean, they're gone, right? So, like, the average fund in dental is invested like 7 years, I think, in a business. So then, in 7 years, I said, around 7 years, these guys are going to be sold. They're going to be gone. And somebody else is going to be in charge. And I said, if I'm making, 700K, 800K, and the business is generating, 1.3 or whatever, they could just get rid of my ass
Right.
and
You don't
hire
have the
somebody new.
control.
Like they could just do that, because if they have such a leveraged buyout and they're not making as much money as they thought, they have to cut costs, increase EBITDA. Most expensive cost is the doctor. And my boss is like, no, they can't do that. They can't do that. They can't do that. It's the orthodontists. They're so important. So my sister asked, with her fund, there's people there that have done deals with medicine and doctors. And my sister's like, yeah, so is like the doctor like important? And then the guy responds, not really. And I told my boss that, and he's like, they can't get rid of the orthodontist. And I'm like, I'm just telling you what my sister said, who works in this shit.
He's probably so pissed.
Probably. And they estimated a modest 6% growth. A modest 6% growth of, I don't know if that's revenue, EBITDA, and the business already has like a 1.3 million EBITDA. And the orthodontist works like crazy. A 6% growth. Oh my gosh.
Do you have any idea what the growth numbers have been historically?
For the past like 3 years, not 6%, maybe 1% of that. Maybe 1% of that. Not 6%. 6%. I told my dad 6% and he laughed. I mean, they're already charging $6,700 for a case of braces.
There's not a ton of wiggle room there.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? 6% 6% growth. They're already charging $6,700 for braces.
Such a scam.
And you're putting on, you have to produce a $25,000 day to keep on track. What is that? That means you gotta get 4 starts a day, roughly.
Oh shit.
Dude, you gotta get 4 patients to get to pay $6,700.
Dude.
So
That's wild.
so that's 4, and you're working 4 days a week. So that's 4 times 4, 16. So that's 16 patients a week. 16 times 52. What is that? That is 16 times 52. That's 832 patients. It's got to be 3. Let's say 3 a day. 3 times 6,700 is 20,000. Oh my gosh. Let's say you need 12 starts a week. That's 624 patients. You got to put braces on 624 patients a year. You got to convince 624 people to pay $6,700.
Jeez, dude.
Isn't that hilarious? 6% growth on that?
Dude, that's yeah. I mean, when you break it down that way, it's like the most obvious sham I've ever heard.
And they said it's a modest 6% growth.
Modest 6%.
They expect a modest 6% growth rate. Are people just bad with numbers, or people just like stupid? Like, do they just think that, oh, in business, 6% growth is the growth rate that's necessary to survive. Therefore, that applies for everything. 10% growth is good. 6% is modest. Let's tell them 6% is modest.
No, well, and didn't you say they wouldn't be opening any new offices?
Would not be opening up new offices.
Yeah, so like that makes no sense.
Scam. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So you know it's a scam.
Yeah, good luck finding a sucker to
Dude, that's
sign up
what
for
I
that
told.
shit.
That's what I told my boss. I told him, like, dude, you're not gonna find somebody with this model.
Yeah.
And then this new guy that they hired, he's been shitting on corporate, saying how he doesn't think they're gonna be able to survive. I'm just like, oh no, he's gonna do the same shit that I did. Anyways. Well, that's what I've been up to, avoiding scams.
Yeah, dude, that's so crazy. And like, dude, like if you're gonna do that shit, fine. But do it like when you're onboarding a new doc, right? Like that should be part of the process, like immediately. Like you should be going over those terms and like the game plan for
Right.
what they're looking for. Like don't onboard someone and then
Well,
force them to
here's-
leverage up a position in the company. That's retarded.
So what they did, they tried to get me to buy in right away. The problem with that is, how do I even know what the fuck I'm buying into?
Exactly.
How do I even know what I'm buying into? They wanted to talk ownership with me right away when I started. And I'm like, guys, I need 6 months to figure this shit out. Like, I don't know anything about this place or anything. I told them in 6 months. And then within a couple months later, they found my replacement. And that's going to take a few more months to get him on, and then they're gonna get rid of me. That's what they're doing.
Jeez, dude.
I mean, it's good. I'll get out. You know,
Right.
be able to get out of the scam. But I think I need like a part-time gig. I think I need part-time gigs for work to be able to avoid having to be in a position like that again.
Mm-hmm.
Because with a part-time job, I would assume they're okay with you leaving or replacing you.
Right, or like contract work or something. It sounds like you're
Right.
describing.
1099 or something. And then I got my brother asking me if I want to golf every fucking weekend. It's like, dude, it's like I need to figure out my new fucking job. I don't want to fucking golf. Are you playing poker right now? I can't see it.
Yeah, is it not showing up?
Yeah, it's black.
Let me try something.
Maybe they purposely block it or something? Or nah?
This might do it.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Is that real money or nah?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I started with $3, just playing the low stakes games, but I've almost tripled it. Can't complain.
We had a poker night in dental school. And I fucking cleaned up the room. I think I won like $50. And I took it all, and then I fucking just gave it to church. A couple of years ago.
Alright, so we need a fucking 10 here. This guy bet heavy. Ooh. We need a 10. We've got... Oh. I'm gonna fold it. Ten King's a playable hand. Yeah, I love poker. By the way, the most fun thing to do as a parent is, like, at mass, giving your kids, like,
Oh yeah, the
the
money to put
money
in.
for the offering. It's the best. Like, Peter loves that shit so much.
I'm sure. Is he talking?
A couple words here and there, like one word stuff. So we
Okay.
needed. You gotta think if he had a queen there, he would have come on a little stronger. So I think I might have him. I'm just gonna kind of slow play it. Like if he has a queen here, God, he's gonna jam on me. Let's bet half the pot. I don't think he has a queen.
Yeah. He's gonna call. Come on, call it, you bitch.
He's probably gonna bet a buck
Yeah, yeah, probably.
to try to get me to fold here, and then I'll
Yep.
match him. If he jams more than that, I'll probably just give it to him. Oh, fuck. See, this same guy has jammed me on this hand and a hand before. So this might be just worth it to see what he's got. I might do it. I don't think he has a queen. There's no straights. There's no flushes. Fuck it.
Bitch.
Oh, wow, he had a full house. He had a full fucking house.
Fucking piece of shit.
Whatever. Give me an ace, you bitches. I mean a king. King guy, dude. Yes, let's fucking go.
Come on, bet, you stupid bitch.
Watch me slow play it. He's gonna fucking jam again.
Yeah,
Please jam,
come on.
you bitch. Oh,
Bet.
you cunt.
Yeah, what a bitch.
I'll still go half the pot. See what they do. Don't fold, you faggot.
He's gonna fold.
Oh, he only called.
Yeah, he's a bitch.
Damn it.
He's a fucking bitch.
I need to get more value out of that.
Well, now you know how he bets, so.
What did he have there? I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
But yeah, so he's actually a little bit tight. He hasn't bluffed like crazy yet. Sean's on pace for a record.
Okay.
And this guy just joined the table too. And he put down 10 cents automatically, which is hilarious. Fucking gotta put 20 there. I mean, I probably should have gone higher. Because I really don't want a ton of people playing this, because, you know, they could come in with some shit and hit some, you know,
Some
trip
BS.
twos or something, you know? But,
Oh, let's
I mean,
go. Let's go.
The clubs scare me. But I've pretty much got the nuts here. Go half the pot.
Watch red fold. Is he gonna raise you?
Join us. Join us, gay boy. Yes, yes, yes. I like that. I really like seeing that.
Draw him in. Come on, bet, you pussy.
I gotta bet heavy here because I really don't want to see your club. Go $2. Wow. What the fuck could he possibly be going for?
Oh.
What? Kings, dude, he hit a 6 on the
He had a
fucking
six.
river. He hit a.
I know.
Did you see
I
that?
I know, dude. I know.
Oh, that's the second time I've had a bad break like that tonight. Oh my gosh.
Did you watch that one celebrity poker night?
Oh,
It's like, what was it, a couple weeks ago? I love watching poker.
I haven't watched recently.
It was Dan Bilzerian, Jimmy Butler, and Neymar, Ryan Rivera, some other dude.
Wait a minute. He hit 6-6 on the turn and the river. Like, and we.
I didn't know the
No,
river
no.
was a 6. It was the turn.
Yeah, so he had a 6 on the turn. That's when he went all in, when he had a king
Yeah.
6. And
He
then
got
he hit a
lucky.
6 on the river. So he had.
He hit a full
Wow.
house?
Yeah. He hit king 6, so he had a 2 pair. And then hit another 6 on the river for a full house. I thought he went all in with just a king. So, sometimes I think that Bovada sketches me out a little bit. Like, I've had a lot of bad breaks on here. But, I mean, that can happen. I mean,
It's better than Potawatomi.
dude, I need to go back to Pato. It's been so long since I've been there.
Dude,
Did you
there's
go?
this one. There's this. I went there a couple of weeks ago for a bachelor party,
Oh,
and there's this one dealer who was just fucking people up, dude. He was just fucking people up. That we were playing blackjack. I think it was like 25,
At the
25
gates of
bucks.
heaven. Look at
And
you,
this guy is a
on hook
fucking
poker.
butcher, dude.
But remember, every trial, every moment of despair.
One of my buddies
it was
got
all
clean for
my
like 300
orchestration.
bucks.
You might
damn.
have survived.
That's just stupid,
But
though.
the
Like,
game never truly ends.
Dude,
The
Sean
world
just
is a
broke an
chessboard,
hour.
And I'm a patient player.
did you get a
That's.
record?
See you soon, adventurers.
What if you fell, dude? No. Dude,
So what-
that's a wild
What's the
run.
rank?